How the heck are you, everybody? I'm Fastidious. Welcome to my channel. Guys, we are concluding our free legendary hero Vanquisher achievement study. Let me tell you, I'm going to say with almost 100% certainty that these results are not going to be what you expected. I honestly was shocked by them. They suppressed the rates of several key legendary heroes, but absolutely not what you expected. And I'll just give you a little taste right now before we jump into the video. The most pulled hero was Virna. That just shows you how crazy these results really are. There's some really positive implications, but also some kind of scary and sinister implications as well. We have to unpack all of that. Let's get into it.
Fastidious.
Fastidious.
Alrighty, just to catch everyone up to speed in case you missed it, I've been conducting a study along with Seamusthehugmonster. Definitely go check him out, in which we've been tracking what heroes people have been getting, who they've been pulling, who's been dropping from this special achievement. So you see I'm in my Rare Sidious account because I wanted to show an account where I haven't yet done this achievement. Of course, I've done it on my main account. It is the Vanquisher achievement, clear stage 18 of all the 3 raids in Gear Raid. So once you don't even have to 3-star them. Once you have cleared Gear Raid 118, 218, 318, you will unlock this achievement. So achievements aren't always the most exciting thing. This one kind of is, because it gets you this legendary hero pack. Get one random hero from the following. So it's once you've achieved this, you still have to achieve it, but then you are given this hero pack, which is a guaranteed free legendary. It is not every legend in this pool of heroes you can get. It's not every legendary in the game, but basically it's our 8 OG legendary lords, right? The 7 lords of the main factions plus Ajax, and then all these kind of OG legendary heroes. Basically everyone since the Arrogance banner and earlier, the people that launched with Global, that's who we've got. All in all, there are 31 heroes you can pull, and let me tell you, we tracked it. You guys had an incredible response. Let me throw this thing on display mode. The results were staggering. We had so many submissions. Started off with Jade Steel, shout out to you. They got Sadie. All the way down, I just put my result in at the end. Look at these numbers on the side. Incredible stuff. So many submissions. I was blown away by the response. Thank you guys. We had 773. You see, I'm line 774. Jade was line 2, so 773. I got my Eloin. If we go all the way up, I can show you the grand totals. Thank you guys again for the tremendous response. Look at all these numbers. It's taking me forever to get there. We have got 773 results. That is so cool. And the results are staggering. You won't believe it. So let me you might have already paused and taken a peek. Don't worry, I'm going to break it all down. So when you think of the most commonly pulled heroes in the game, you probably think of Shamir and Cratch and Azor, maybe Ezrein, and you are correct. I'm not going to show you the numbers yet. We're still working on our legendary drop rate study. Seamus and I'm actually going to put out an update video on that either tomorrow or on Wednesday, because we're almost at the 1,000 plus submissions we wanted. We are at a crazy number of summons accounted for. I'll tell you that. We're over 1 million summons accounted for, getting towards 2 million. It is nuts. But you're right. Those are some of the highest drop rate heroes that we've already confirmed that, right? That was not even close to the case here. They actually have suppressed the rates specifically of 6 heroes, and it was those 4 heroes. Those 4 heroes were included. So you can see here, these are our total results. You see, here's a summation here. There are 31 legendaries in the pool and 773 results. You can see we put the lords on top, and I bolded them. We'll talk about those in a second. And then basically the expected distribution, when you take your 100% divided by 31, if it was a perfectly even distribution and there was no manipulation of rates, the expected distribution would come in at this 3.23%, right? That's exactly what you'd expect. So then we just made a little heat map here. If it was less than 2.23%, so more than a margin of error of 1% from our expectation, it's in the red, it's highlighted light red, and then light green if it's over 1%. So it was more common. It was showing up 4.23%, so the expected plus 1% or higher. Right? And just let's zoom back out a bit and let's look at some of these numbers. So look at some of these greens, right? Abomination, maybe you expect it. Absent, maybe you expect it. Arrogance, one of the rarest, I'll tell you right now from our study, one of the absolute rarest heroes in the game, 5.82%. So of all these people, almost double what you'd expect, you're getting Arrogance, right? Calypso, maybe normal. Comet, over 5%. Nocturne, almost 6%. Nyx, maybe in line with expectation, but still a good hero. Razok, same story. Regulus seems super common, right? So that makes sense. But then look, Setrum over 5%, Silas over 6%, our most pulled hero, and Virna, nearly 6%. Crazy drops above expectation. However, the juiciest information may lie in these red ones. So let's ignore the Lords. Of course, the Lords had a lower rate, but the Lords had a very high rate compared on what you'd expect. But let's look here. Azor, only 3 people out of 773 got Azor. Only 3 got Shamir, less than 0.4%. So of per 1,000, right? About only 4 people were getting, per 1,000, only about 4 people you could expect to do it. In over 700, almost 800, only 3 people got it, 0.39%. Per 10,000, if we had it using these numbers, 39 people. Only 39 people would get Shamir. Only 39 people would get Azor. Cratch. Everyone talks about the Cratch tax. If you had to pay the Cratch tax this time, and maybe let me get this out of the way right now, for people that always complain in my comments, and I totally get it, RNG is so frustrating, and like, I've had such bad luck, I keep getting Shamir, Cratch. Normally, I will say, that sucks. I really hope you have great pulls next week, and I really do mean that. However, with RNG and with knowing deep down, and now gonna prove it when you see our legendary drop rate study, knowing that they do have a higher base drop rate, it is kind of like, hey, them's the breaks. You can complain. Get in the comments and complain, because you actually were unlucky if you pulled Cratch or Shamir or or Azor. Even Sadie and Ezrin, right? Ezrin, only 4 people got Ezrin, like just over 0.5%, right? That is incredible. Zealous, only 3 Zealous. These rates were completely suppressed. Sadie, under 1%. Slightly higher, but you can see single-digit pulls for all those guys, and everybody but Sadie, 4 or 5 or under. That is just, they manipulated these rates in a very positive way for the player base, right? So that's what I'm talking about with a positive. You'd have far higher chance. You had a times 12 chance to get Silas than over times 12. Basically, the chance between getting 2 different legendary marksmen, right? Let's focus on Cratch and let's focus on Silas. You had basically, you can do the math here. There were 5 Cratch, 47 Silas. It was over 9 times more likely you would get Silas than you would get Cratch. Coming up towards 10 times more likely to get Silas than Cratch. How crazy is that? 9.5 times or something like that. Between 9 and 10 times more likely. That's the point I'm trying to say. So they manipulated these rates. It's a big reward for beating the Gear Raid 18, Stage 18 dungeons, right? Beating those specific Gear Raids, 118, 218, 318. And they're saying, let's increase the chances they get good stuff. So clearly they did manipulate the rates, and they can manipulate the rates. And when they choose to do so, they can manipulate it in a way that makes the player base very happy. Let's talk about Lords now, and then let's talk about the negative side of things. So if we look here with Lords, you can see there's the 8 Lords, basically the 7 OG Lords plus Ajax, who gets Lord status. Still unclear if we should call him a Lord or not, but yeah, it's the 8 guys, right? You see I've underlined the thing on top. These are our summations, and then here I've bolded them in. So Venoma actually was easily within that 1% margin of error we defined, right? So at 3.23%, you can see Venoma was showing up at, what is this? Only 0.38% less than you'd expect out of just any old legendary, and Venoma's a tremendous lord in this game. Ajax as well is right in that range, right? We could have put him in red, actually probably should have, but just only 0.03% less than the 1% below expectation. That's pretty tremendous for some of the absolute rarest heroes in the game. If we just look at the actual quantity tallied of these 8, only, and literally only, Torador was in single digits. He was the same exact rate as Sadie, right? You had the same chance to get Torador as you did Sadie. If you look at some other heroes, let's look at one here. Leia, King Hearts, these guys are 12 instances, right? It was 4 times more likely you'd pull Leia or King Hearts than it was that you'd pull Shamir or Azor. That's ridiculous. If we look at some more, right? Twin Fiend, nearly 5 times more likely you'd get a Twin Fiend. Exactly 5 times more likely you would get Morrigan. These are staggering numbers. Just under 4 times more likely that you get Aracha, who seems to be about as rare as they can get. Basically, they juiced up the rates of the Lords in comparison to the suppressed rates, but moreover, the total chance, you get a legendary, you're guaranteed a legendary from this card, it was a 14.23% chance that it would be a Lord. Normally, the rates to get a like let's say if there's a 2x, this actually articulates it really well. You have a 1% chance to get a legendary with the 2x, right? Let me write that there. And it comes out to a 0.92% chance to get a non-legendary lord and a 0.08% chance to get a lord. So you just multiply those by 100. So you guaranteed that you have, let's just do like this number times 100. So this is like when there's a 100% chance you're guaranteed that you are going to get a legendary. So now the second instance happens, you're getting a legendary. Now the next thing is it going to be a normal legendary or a lord? Well, you can see, just multiply it by 100. It's a 92% chance it's a normal legendary and only an 8% chance you're getting lord. So here it's basically that same instance. You're guaranteed a legendary. So it should be an 8% chance, an 8% guarantee, 8% expectation that now that you're getting a legendary, it will be a lord. Actually, it was 6.23% more likely. It was a 14.23% chance, nearly double what you'd expect in terms of the lord drop rates. That's tremendous, and that is very exciting stuff. So you can be really upset if you had a bad pull, right? If you didn't get Eloin or Arrogance or Virna or Silas, and somehow you were one of the three, I'm sure you guys will sound off in the comments, that got that Zealous or Shamir or Azor, as opposed to the 45 who got Arrogance, the 47 who got Silas, the 46 who got Virna. Where are you, Comet? This is alphabetical. 39 who got Comet, right? 13 times more likely that it was to get Comet than a far worse mage, a far worse AoE legendary mage in Zealous. So if you didn't get that, you can be annoyed. However, I think the vast majority of us, at least even if I had gotten one of the bad pulls, I think I'd be happy that so many people were able to benefit from these boosted rates. However, we need to talk about the negatives, right? So what are the negatives? This makes it plain as day. I mean, we're talking 773 submissions, right? So maybe we can't get a 99% confidence interval on all these numbers, but we can get a pretty high confidence interval on a certain range. And what we can certainly do is this is statistically significant to prove a clear pattern. There clearly was rate suppression when it comes to heroes like Azor, Cratch, Ezrein, Sadie, Shamir, and Zealous. Let's actually quickly visualize this so you can really see. I just want to drive this point home, and then let's talk about the sinister nature. Here's a great pie chart. Feel free to pause it and take a little look. But look at this. These big slabs, right? This big slab right here, that's Virna. This teeny tiny little sliver, that's Zealous. Over here, this big orange slab, that is Arrogance. This teeny tiny teal slab, that's Azor. That's kind of all you need to say. What a great way to visualize it. Thank you, Seamus, for creating that. So what is the sinister thing? This proves, case in point, we now have solid evidence dripping down our fingers, right? It's plain as day. They can manipulate rates. They do manipulate rates. So if they're manipulating rates here, let me tell you, they're manipulating rates all the time, or certainly they can do it whenever they want. And I think that's really important. And that clearly has negative implications. When you have a 10x, are they manipulating rates that the less, popular hero is getting pulled less, or the more popular hero will get pulled less, the more desired hero will be pulled less, for sure. How do I think it works? I think it scales off of their base rate. I think already the most desired heroes have suppressed base rates. I already know that from, if you look down here with our early numbers and form responses, this is our legendary product sheet. We have all that information. It's unclear exactly how 10x's are working, but I think those 10x's are making it 10 times more likely to pull those heroes than it normally is. Well, if you have Hotsit and Ezrein, and it's already way more likely to get Ezrein than Hotsit, and you make them both 10 times more likely, it's still going to be proportionally as more likely to get Ezrein than it was to get Hotsit before. They're just going to be popping up more than others, right? But this frustrates people immensely with 10x's, and there's clear manipulation going around, and that's happening. Right? There were so many more Kais pulled than Virna. We all know that to be true. And just go through the comments of any of my videos or Ivy's videos or any pulls videos, right? And that's because there's a higher base rate on Kai than Virna. It's undeniable. We can just see it plain as day, and we have evidence now. So that is the negative. Clearly, as amazing as these results were, and as positive as they are for the player base, it does show that there are rate manipulations going on. All right, let's end on this beautiful pie chart. Take that all in. Thank you, Seamus. Thank you guys, all 772 of you, because keep in mind 773 was yours truly. Thank you for your participation. This was a crazy study, and overall, I'm gonna say 90% extremely positive. I mean, look at these fat, juicy slabs. Dark navy blue over here is Silas. Teeny tiny navy to teal is Shamir. I mean, what more? Over 15 times more likely to get Silas than Shamir. Mwah, chef's kiss. I absolutely love it. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Fastidious. If you like it, get in the comments, get happy. Feel free to complain if you're one of the people that got Shamir or Azor or something. And of course, share it with your mother. I've been Fastidious again. I'll see you soon.
Fastidious.